And, dude, I think I can actually hear the sound of your coffee maker running behind you. But we're live, and it is Thursday morning, and I believe most of y'all know what that means.
Win. This guy so much sack. He protect, he attack. This why no more homo erotic rocket ranches. Got it? Got it. Oh shit.
It's great chair.
So much Wayne.
Indeed, Hero America. In fact, 안녕하십니까, 여러분. 오늘은 뉴스쇼에서는 Tenet, the upcoming movie trailer. 영화. Oh, guys, I wanna just touch this for half a second. I'm tired of talking about the Ragnarok, the apocalypse, the Armageddon, the baby Gotterdammerungen, the whole flippin' thing. So, today in chapter 9 of Revelations, we're discussing the end of the end. So, without further ado, unless Cameron, you've got something you'd like to add first, I'm just gonna we're just gonna watch this trailer and talk about it.
No, let's have some fun.
All I have for you is a word. Tenet. It'll open the right doors, some of the wrong ones too. Use it carefully.
To do what I do, I need some idea of the threat we face.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
I'm not saying Armageddon here.
No. Something worse.
I gather you have an interest in a certain Russian national.
Why don't you bring me in?
You really want to know?
He can communicate with the future.
Time travel.
No. Inversion.
Aim it and pull the trigger. You're not shooting the bullet, you're catching it.
Whoa.
Whoa, indeed.
Well, I've seen too much. Well, we'll try and keep up.
Your duty transcends national interests. This is about survival.
Seems bold.
Bold, I'm fine with. I thought you were going to say nuts.
This is where our worlds collide.
How would you like to die?
Old.
You chose the wrong profession.
Well, happened here.
Hasn't happened yet.
There are people in the future who need us. We need Tenet.
We need to save them here and now.
This reversing the flow of time. Doesn't us being here now mean it never happened? You want to crash a plane?
But not from the air. That was so dramatic.
Well, how big a plane?
That part is a little dramatic.
Now, okay, I'm excited about this film. And it said, okay, I'm excited about this film. I have one concern, Um,
Let's talk about just real quick being excited about this film. You know, why are we excited about this film? Said the it's said from the creator of the Dark Knight trilogy.
it said what now? It said
creator.
something about one of these movies. Y'all remember this genius moment?
I thought my jokes were bad.
Give me one reason why I shouldn't have my boy here pull your head off.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! It's gone. Oh, and by the way, the suit, it wasn't cheap. You ought to know, you bought it.
I mean, just guys, I mean, honestly, the only complaint, like I was telling Cameron a minute ago, the only complaint I could possibly have about The Dark Knight is it was just a little too pro-George Bush.
I know, right? So let's give that a tour.
To be clear, I'm not a fan of pro-George Bush media because he was such a squishy liberal. George Bush was essentially the last moderate Democrat. So
something like that, yeah. So yeah, you know, we just wanted to touch this because we like making films. We're big nerds about it.
Yep.
I think this is going to be the film where Nolan surpasses The Dark Knight. If you go back and you watch any movie in Nolan's catalog, he does something with time in every single movie. His first big Hollywood movie was Memento, which told the story forward and backward at the same time, and it's kind of been a running thing in every single one of his movies. Even in The Dark Knight Rises, the capstone to the Nolan Batman trilogy, in the end of the movie, when the time that's on the bomb is the exact same amount of time that entire action sequence takes place on screen, you might think that that's actually a pretty easy thing to pull off,
but you'd be wrong.
You'd be so wrong. Movies play with your sense of time on purpose all the time. It's how they're allowed to do the things that they do, and whoo.
Well, and, okay, so think about so many people watched Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones was very well done
for the first 7 seasons.
Yeah. But anyway, Game of Thrones. You know, talk about messing with your sense of time. How many times did we see, you know, a group of characters traveled from point A to point B, and it's like, oh, we're going to this other place, and then the next scene they're in the other place. Well, it took them a month to get there.
Right. So, I'm going to ask, did anybody out there catch the most important part of that trailer?
Ooh.
Oh, Chris, please, educate us.
In theaters!
That's right. In theaters. We're not just going to gush out over Christopher Nolan, though we could. But no, the most important part of it is in theaters. Because we need a return to normal. Good Lord. And since apparently protesting and rioting inoculates you to the coronavirus, I think it's safe to say that we'll go back to theaters fairly soon. Man, Chris, you know, remember just a few weeks ago we were saying, God, I'm so tired of talking about the coronavirus. I wish we had something else important to discuss. Oh dear. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Because it seems that if you lock people up in their homes and put a quarter of the country out of work and basically disrupt everybody's way of life, people get a little antsy. And when they've got nothing to do but sit around and look at their social media feeds, looking for things to be outraged about.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Italians have basically come out and they're protesting and refusing to wear masks and all that, and insisting that the whole COVID thing was a scam.
Well, now that we're getting...
I don't know if I'm quite ready to say that the whole thing was a scam, but I think I'm still basically in the camp that COVID-19 was a real thing, but it was dramatically overplayed. And I think it's probably even fair to say that Donald Trump overreacted to it, as a response to intense media and political pressure, and that may turn out to be a positive in the future, as he may be less likely to act so rashly in the future the next time the enemy tries to destroy the country. Now, that assumes a few things, one of those things being that the country doesn't just die of its wounds after the overreaction, the panic of COVID, followed immediately by this clearly manufactured race riot. But we shall see. Now, in fairness, the stock exchange broke 26,000 yesterday. That's huge news. That means that the expectation, what it means that the stock exchange broke 26,000 yesterday. Did you just fall asleep on me?
No, I froze.
What it means that the stock exchange broke 26K yesterday, quite simply, it means that I was right back in, I think, early February, when I said what we're going to see here, we're going to see massive unemployment, we're going to see massive bad numbers, and then we're going to see a V-shaped recovery. That's happening. Now, it may actually be because we've got so many Keynesian economists in this country giving bad advice to people that the Keynesian model will step in and have a little bit of a snowball effect here as jobs are created, frankly, by insurance companies hiring contractors to rebuild burned down cities. To be clear, the broken glass, the broken window employs the glassmaker theory of economics, is a bad economic model. But in the very near term, it might just be the shot in the arm that we need to overcome the sudden unemployment.
Well, man, I hope you're right, because, 40 million people, like, we're coming to the point to where keeping up with the numbers is just, what's the point? Like, 40 million people are now unemployed that were not unemployed back in January. For what? For a virus that Andrew Cuomo himself says, in all likelihood, probably has about a 0.5% lethality rate. And let's not forget that the state of New York decided, oh, I know, we'll just send sick old people back to the nursing home. Why? Well, because the CDC said it was okay, that was an acceptable practice. First of all, what the hell, CDC? And second of all, just because an expert says it doesn't mean you have to do it. And this whole thing with nursing homes is important because you take them out of the math, and by the most conservative estimate, you eliminate...
Half the people didn't die.
The lowest number I've seen is 42%. That's what I was going to go with. But fine. 1 in 2 that died of COVID didn't have to die of COVID. if we didn't do absolutely balls out insane things. Like in the county that I live, I track it. We're up to like 113 confirmed cases and 1 death. Well, I mean, that's a sub 1%. And let's not forget the fact that by a factor of anywhere between 10 and 40, maybe even as high as 50 or 80, we've been exposed to this virus. Yeah, you start factoring in that math, and now we're talking about like a point zero something percent lethality rate. So 25% unemployment rate versus point zero something lethality rate. Because, man, let's say this actually had a 3% kill rate. Well, that's a little different. It really is, because now we are talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people dying. Yep. But that's not what happened. That is not what happened. And I'm having a hard time not just going like full tinfoil hat on this, because yes, I do believe there was a coronavirus, and yes, I believe it came from China, and yes, I believe we needed to take it seriously, and yes, it had the potential to do amazing amounts of damage. And it turns out that it did in fact do amazing amounts of damage, because we just decided to crash the world economy as a result of something that literally was a bad flu. And so, good on Nolan. Like, we're giving Nolan the total win here, because it's right there in the trailer. This is coming to theaters. We have to have a return to normal. We have to. And movie theaters are going to be one of the things that get hit the absolute hardest. Now that people know that, like my kids wanted to see Trolls 2. So we paid the $19.99 and streamed it at home. And how many people are going to say, no, really, I'd rather just do that? And Hollywood can't know how that's going to affect their bottom line. Because if you want 10 people, you want to get together with 10 people, you want to go see something in the theater, every single one of you has to buy a ticket. But it'd be a tight fit. But Chris could fit 10 people in his living room, and for that same $19.99, we can watch Trolls 2. And if he wanted to go around and collect money from everybody, that's $2 a head, as opposed to the anywhere from $7 to $15 that you pay at the box office. And I'm not a Luddite. I don't have a problem with the fact that car replaces the horse-drawn carriage, and one day something will replace the car. That doesn't bother me. What does bother me is that we choked the life out of an industry over nothing, basically. And I can simultaneously have the schadenfreude that communist Hollywood and our evil overlord, the House of Mouse, they're hurting real bad right now. But I can still intellectually understand the damage that was done to them was not necessary. And then forget the fact how many people did work at movie theaters that are just never going to reopen. I mean, never. So, man, good on Nolan. Good on Nolan. For real. Excuse me.
And we don't need the theater model to be successful with films. We can do small house shows. We can do like the film that we're shooting this summer. That's gonna be shown in bars, and like there are several bars, especially around Buckhead and even a few out in the country. There's a speakeasy type joint out in Porterdale that I've been to, and damn, now I feel terrible. I'm mentioning the joint. I'd like to mention it by name. But we'll be showing our movies in places like that. I can't remember the name of the place, and I can't find it in. Oh, there it is. Kevin and Shanti. No, that's not it. Anyway, sorry. The whole speakeasy thing in Porterdale is really cool. The front end is like the front entrance is like a deli or something, and then there's a secret bookcase on one wall that's it's deeply and clearly not so secret, and you go in and boom, you're in the bar, and the actual bar takes up most of the building. So it's pretty cool. We did I worked on the film Social Circle by Jack Moon, which was it wasn't a great film, but I had so much fun working on it. I did the weapons for it, and a little murder mystery thriller type thing / comedy. But we did the showing of it at that little speakeasy thing in Porterdale, and it was fantastic. It's right across the street from where we shot that wedding for Valentine's Day, Cameron.
Yes. I'm tracking.
But yeah, I've already been talking to a few microbrewers and breweries around the area that have like these big elaborate shiny tap rooms. I mean, they're tap rooms like that gun range we went to a few months ago with the Black Sword guys who
yeah. Moving on. But anyhow,
moving on indeed. But there is a future for cinema. There is a future for gathering to watch cinema. But the theater model, which uses dramatically overpriced concessions to subsidize the otherwise expensive films, it may be coming to an end. And with this single stroke, Nolan might just save their asses.
At least some of them. At least some of them. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the theater model dying a natural death. What I have a problem with is the fact that the theater model has been mortally wounded, and Nolan's basically performing life-saving techniques in order to keep that from flatlining. I still think he deserves the Totar Win because there's something. Oh yeah,
because he just ran into the theater model with a giant hypo full of adrenaline and a black fucking felt pen to save the day.
Oh dear.
He's gonna get me up off the floor.
Oh dear. There was the F-bomb.
Yeah, but I'm on the wrong panel to pull the sounder without having to push a bunch of extra buttons.
Oh, I see. But no, it's the refusal to submit to fear. I think is what it really comes down to, because, man, like, I have to wear a mask at work, and
right.
I have to, like, every time I step out of my work truck, I'm supposed to put my mask on, and we hates it. Like, seriously.
Do we, precious?
We do. We hates it. Because, man, I gotta tell you, like, it doesn't really restrict my breathing that much. But when it's hot and it's humid and I'm already wearing my PPE, which includes long pants and long sleeves.
Which are black.
Yeah, black pants, gray shirt. And now I've got a mask on top of everything else. Look, I get it. I understand what we're trying to do. But guys, come on. Can we all just admit that we got this wrong? I forget his name, but this all started with some guy. I think he's British. He does models. And, you know, the models originally suggested like 500,000 British people would die, and somewhere between 1 and 2 million Americans would die. And Yeah, sure. Okay, you start talking about 1 million people taking the dirt nap. Okay, we need to take this seriously. But
And it turns out he was wrong.
yeah, and you said it before in discussing this. Models have their place, but you have to remember that a model is just that. It's a model, and garbage in, garbage out. Like, but anyhow, man, we've been doing super long shows past few days.
I'm about ready to put a pin in this one, because otherwise we're just going to sit here and gush over Nolan some more. But
yeah, we just wanted to do something a little lighter, talk about the fact that it's time to stop being afraid of the coronavirus. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Like, seriously, stop it.
Yeah. Go to work. We'll see you tomorrow.